A good way to check, if you take your thumbs here, you see how they're not in sync?
How you doing? My name is Jason Holmes from Cerritos, California. I'm 42 years old. I've been playing golf for 32 years. I'm an assistant professional at Candlewood Country Club, an aspiring PGA professional. The pros with my swing have always been rhythm and feel. Coach tends to call me smooth criminal because everything seems to always just move the way it should. And what I'm here to learn is just how to apply my feel to a better sense of fundamentals and proper technique to help me be more consistent with the way that I do play. Because I am a self-taught player and everything has always been about just rhythm and feel and look for me. So it's just trying to turn that feel into something that's more consistent with proper technique.
Hi, Jason. How are we doing tonight?
Good to see you, Coach.
Yeah. Glad to have you here tonight, and
thank you.
Really glad that to hear that you're working on your PGA membership. I'm a Class A, and I can't wait to become part of the membership. So,
almost there. I'm in level 3.
All right, awesome. I remember when I got my Class A, it was one of the exciting days. So, I'm excited for you to reach your goal. So, but watching your swing here, like you said, you're a self-taught player, kind of smooth and just kind of rhythmic. There are a few things that we're going to go over. Now, just at a quick glance here, your numbers aren't bad, but you now playing tournaments, there's going to be 1 or 2 shots that could actually cost you, going left or right or overhooking it, that could really, take you from the leaderboard back into the outside the top 10, and that's what we're here for today. So if we can go ahead and replay the swing here, and let's draw a line on his right side of or his left side of his head here. So how tall are you?
I'm like 5'7", 5'7" and a half.
5'7",
yeah.
Pretty broad shoulders, right? So the first thing we notice here is obviously the width of your stance. But you having pretty broad shoulders, it's going to be very hard to maintain good balance because you're actually going to be moving off the ball a lot. And if we go ahead and play this video here, and let's focus on the right frame, we're going to see the opposite of what most players do here at the studio is your head is actually going to go towards the target. Okay? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm talking to Mr. O, you've had issues with the club coming down very steep. Yeah,
I've never really been a flat swing player.
Okay.
When I kind of taught myself to play, I would always watch professionals play, and so I kind of just, everything was always visual for me.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just as simple as the ball's there, club face, hit that particular spot, and just down the target line, and just try to make an on-balance swing if I can.
That's the thing we want to correct today. Again, obviously we do got to get wider with your feet. We want to be with those broad shoulders that you have. There's a lot of mass up top that this is trying to support with a very narrow stance. So as we get wider, about shoulder width or maybe just a hair outside of it, it's going to allow us not to move the hips so much where your head is going to be actually moving towards the target. Now, like you said, you kind of learning from self-taught, where at times when I was a young fella, I think the misconception was if I come steep, I will take a divot. Okay? So, and I think for everybody watching out there, just because you're steep doesn't mean you're going to have good shaft angle coming into the ball. You can have great shaft angle and you're going to be a little bit more on plane, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about here shortly is how do we maintain good divot pattern but with consistent ball striking where we're not sticking it in the ground. So as we continue this film here on the right, head's going to go forward. Widening your stance is going to help that. But since you move forward here, and then as he starts working down the golf swing here, you're going to see here, your arm is not very straight. You kind of have close to a 90-degree angle on the bend there. We really don't want to see that.
Yes.
Because that's going to obviously kind of release too early. It's going to be very inconsistent on how the timing is going to happen. That's why we like a lot of width here. And then we allow the big muscles, the rotation of the lower body and the chest staying down on the ball to create our turn into the golf swing. That's why if you play all the videos of the LPGA players or even the PGA Tour guys, you're never going to see a player in this position at the top with their left arm. So there's a lot of great things happening here that we can just minor adjustments of wider width, and then as we pull down I'm gonna put my hand under your left arm here on the elbow. So as you pull down, it doesn't collapse. We want straightness. So let's go ahead and set up here. First thing we're gonna change is gonna be the width of your stance. There you go, good. We want very nice, it's shoulder width apart. And as we bring this back now, let's go ahead. We're not gonna hit some balls yet.
Okay.
We want this head not to move forward, okay? Let's go ahead. Nope, don't move it back either though. Go ahead, make a good shoulder turn. There you go, get to the top. There you go. We want width though, we want good extension. So a good thought process when you're practicing here, go ahead and relax for a second. When you get up to like midway or a 3/4 of the way on the golf swing, think about your hands getting away from your ears. Create distance away from that right ear of yours, okay? You don't want to get narrow and bring it close to your ears.
Now, would that just feel like a little more higher hands or just more
extension out? Yeah, we don't want this elbow breaking out.
Okay.
We don't want to be lifted to get away. We want to create separation width. So I call this east and west. Okay, this is north and south. We want to be extending to the east. Okay? So as you get back here, you wanna take that trip to the east. There you go, good. And now the head doesn't move forward. See that?
Mm-hmm.
The head moves forward, and then this collapses. That's why that happens. There you go, good. So let's set up again here. Good, shoulder width apart. There you go, good. And I'm just gonna help you here on getting some feels, okay? You're gonna go ahead and bring it back. We want the hands further away from our right ear. There you go, good. Now, as you go ahead and start your downswing now, go ahead and push. I'm gonna push down on my arm here. This is gonna go, there you go. Good, good, push it down. There you go, awesome. You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Good, what's actually helping there? So let's do it one more time, and I want you to explain to me what you feel when I create resistance from this left elbow breaking. What do you feel? Go ahead.
So when I start down, what I feel here mainly is just, I really, with the straighter left arm, I do feel the longer extension as far as having my hands moving more east, as you said.
Yep.
And just, I can definitely really feel the width there.
Yep.
When I was more of a junior golfer, this was a lot easier for me to be able to maintain that position when I go back and look at old swings. So I guess my question with this would be, as a 40-plus player, what can I do to actually help with that and not put a strain on the body?
That's a great question. You know, obviously, we're getting up there. I don't like to be called old, so I tell people we get more experience. We're more experienced than we were. So as more experience we get, the less flexibility we have. So I think it just goes back to you stretching. Okay. There's no magic pill that says do this and this will happen. You have to put a little bit of work in it where you want to stretch it. You know, 5 minutes in the morning and then 5 minutes before bed. So again, so that way you can be healthy and not hurt yourself, because obviously, you know, at our age, if we try to do this, but you work in the shop, I know how it is to work behind the counter in the golf industry. You're working, and you just don't have time to really hit balls. You got an hour left of daylight, you hop on a car and go play 9 holes, right? Get it out of your system. So it's not a very healthy thing for you to just not stretch. Okay, so to help you out, you gotta just do some stretching.
And can I take that extension into practice that just incremental, as far as, you know, if I'm not even getting here, can I just start working more of just little by little being able to try to maintain that width?
Yeah, so a great drill that I want you when it's obviously downtime in the golf shop is a great way to do it with the boys. Just getting in a position here, taking your right arm, sticking it underneath your left arm, and then pulling this thing. See how I'm pulling? And I get width. As I do that, because I got some pounds to me now as I get older, my head goes where? If anything, it goes this way now. It doesn't go this way anymore. Okay? So as I get to that, that's just a really good repetition. If you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes in between customers or just nothing really going on, just working on this. And making sure that the head stays centered. Just pulling with that left arm. Okay? Just repetition back and forth a few times a day. And I think that's really going to ease the feel. And then when you get here, Just kind of looks like that. You have good extension there.
Now, as an instructor as well, is that something that you would advise me to do with students or a certain level of students, or is that something that applies to everyone that plays the game?
I think, great question. As you start working with juniors, it's going to be easier because obviously, like we said, they have better flexibility than us. So you have to start that at a young age. You can't let the kids get away with simple fundamentals. So you got to start teaching that. Now, if you got Mrs. Jones, who's 78 years old, who is trying to play golf at the club, I probably wouldn't recommend this too much.
Yes.
More with her just learning how to bottom out a little bit more consistently, just working on little shorter pitch shots and having her understand what good contact feels like on the face. But I would say anybody from your club champion in the Champions Flight, if they're wanting to work with you at the club, with the elite side, first flight and championship flight, yeah, I would work with them on this. All your juniors, you have to really make sure you work on them, that they don't stack, and make sure you really check their alignment. So a good way to check your base, if you have a good width of your stance. So if you take your thumbs here and you swing them, you see how they're not in sync. So have your thumbs point at each other. Okay, now just swing your arms back and forth. Okay, they're pretty in sync. Let's get a little wider. See that they move better. They're pointing, your fingers will point more at, they can move together. When you're very narrow, you're actually out of balance. See how my thumbs don't move in sync? That's when you know you're not balanced correctly. That means you probably got to get a little wider. So with your stance, if you just swung your arms like this, they're not going to be in the same pattern. So that's another good way for you to check with your little juniors on how the width of your stance.
That should be.
Just have them swing their arms, and the thumbs should stay pointing at each other, and they should be moving in sync.
And that's mainly just based off of your build, height.
Exactly.
Got it.
And like your anatomy
Stature.
determine it exactly.
Okay.
So for you, like I said, you have broad shoulders, so you're very narrow. So today's lesson is going to be more about, okay, we got to get wider stance. We got to make sure that we create width with that left arm. There you go. Now we don't want you moving your head that far off the ball. There you go. Good. Right there. And then when I asked you earlier, what did you feel if I had this right arm, my right arm underneath your left elbow? Pull it down.
Resistance.
Resistance. But do you have power right now?
Yes.
Okay. How can you create more power? Go ahead. Start pulling it down.
Just pull it.
Yeah, but you have to feel you being on top of the ball.
Ball.
You got to feel the left legs, and you also got to feel your torso covering the ball. If you just try to pull the arm down, you won't have any power. So you're going to be sitting into your left side, and then the torso stays down, okay? That's where you maximize power and maximize maintaining that angle. So you got to use the correct muscles.
By creating this resistance along with the unwinding of the hips, staying in a certain position over the ball.
Yes, so unwinding, but also creating downward pressure into the ground with the legs and with the upper body staying on top of it, okay? If we look at your old swing, you get here to the left and you hyperextend your legs, you lose your spine angle because you're throwing the hands. You said you're very loosey-goosey. Now, we're driving power down into our lead side. Chest is actually coming down with us. We're staying on top of the ball, so this is not gonna break down. So again, if I get here, now go ahead. There you go, good. You feel pressure here, right?
Yes.
You're gonna feel the chest going on top of the ball now. There you go, good. And then rotate. Yeah. Leading back, so your homework is gonna be, obviously, again, taking your right arm, sticking it underneath your left arm, wider stance, shoulder width apart at least, and then making sure you just do just a bunch of repetition, as many as you can, trying to keep the head centered, not swaying off, not going forward. You'll actually notice that you're not going to really go forward anymore, okay? And then it's also going to be a good way of you, on the downswing, that resistance. So you're going to be pulling this as you push this down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you want to apply pressure downward.
Yeah.
Downward. There you go, good.
Downward.
Because the golf swing is a downward drive and then an upward drive.
Yeah.
Push up off the earth.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, good. And then now drive it There you go, lead. There you go, good. Yes. Good. So go slow though, okay? Good. So, good left arm. There you go, good. There you go, good. Now go ahead and start the downswing. Start the downswing. There you go, good. 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 Drop it too flat a little bit. There you go. So a little wider on the stance though. There you go, good. There you go. Good.
That felt different.
Yeah, that was compressed. Much better. So see how your head's not going forward now? You're stacked on top of your lower body better?
Mm-hmm.
There you go, good. Nice. So that's what I want you to work on. That's gonna be your homework, okay? Any other questions?
No, I think you pretty much answered and covered a lot of it.
So you did a great job. Again, it's not an easy thing that we need to change, but becoming a PGA professional, I think, you know, it's gonna help you with your students moving forward as well.
Absolutely.
It's just gonna take you to another level. So, awesome job.